But on the bright side, Trump is working hard to make us not a developed country. So what about students? Is socialism too expensive for them? Because in many countries around the world, university tuition is essentially free. In Germany, it's even free for foreigners to benefit from, like Americans.
I had heard things like I'd be able to drink, I'd have health care. Each month it cost about 600 euro to live here. My room, train tickets, school, food. My main motivation, of course, was saving money.
Was it? Because I'm pretty sure the first thing you said was you'd be able to drink, so I think that's where your money's gonna be going. You can take a boy out of South Carolina, but you can't take a tall boy out of his hand. Germany doesn't see free college as a drain on the economy, but believes that investing in young people's education, even that of non-Germans, will benefit the German economy in the long run. Compare that to how we pay for school in the United States, which is basically an FU-IOU, as student debt just hit $1.5 trillion. Though to be fair, student debt is a job creator for student debt collectors.
I am sitting in a country called Scotland, a country that has free tuition fees and pays the heavy cost as a result of that. The heavy cost that I already explained in the first part was simple. The fact is, the cost comes at the expense of cutting back elsewhere. So in other words, you might say, oh well, we have our free tuition fees. Yeah, that's fantastic. But how many placements are available for the photography course to go to university with the so-called free tuition fees? Right? So a free tuition fee, but you've only got 11 placements for the photography course, with hundreds and hundreds of people applying for the same course, where you've got very little chance of getting in. And sometimes you rely on luck to get in. And even then, you face the reality that there's cutbacks in employment opportunity as a result of it. Because after all, you have to finance it somehow. So at the end of the day, you go to university with your so-called free tuition fee, and you come out the other end with the degree. And with the degree that you got, you can't even find employment. In fact, you have to, leave your own country to go to a place like London to try and find employment opportunity. Why? Because in Scotland there's, a lack of jobs. I wonder why. Maybe because you made it free for education, free for tuition fees, and free for healthcare. There's a cost that comes with that, and the cost is the lack of, employment opportunity. It's very evident, and I can even see that today. I can see that within the Scottish economy. It's disastrous. Anybody who says that the Scottish economy is doing fantastic is just living in Teletubby land. So you pay for it. And you also pay for it through Scotland having the largest deficit in Europe. I hardly call that anything to boast about. And it's this idea that you want your cake and you want to eat it too, but you can't have both. That's the problem.
Germany's example flies in the face of another myth spouted about socialist policies, that they're not good for business. They stifle innovation and competition, and heavy regulations and taxes only make companies move abroad. Work for less. Bangladesh.
Germany is a social market economy. And as I've explained before with regards to the definition of a social market economy, it's something that has somewhat closer with that of a free market. I'm not saying it's free market, I'm not saying it's truly free market, anything at all like that, but it's something of a combination between what is relative to kind of like the way a free market is to that of a welfare state. Yes, it's being hurt by its taxation, it's being hurt by its welfare statism and all its generosity, etc., as you so-called claim. However, its economy is faring better off compared to that of other economies, it's simply because of the very fact that it just so happens to be a country that has strong economic business freedom. Now see if Germany wasn't really a conservative based country. See if Germany was this type of country that went on the path of a strong public sector. Germany would never in a million years be able to sustain what it is today. That's why it got away with doing what it has. Even then, its economy in the long term is not sustainable. It's unsustainable. So, it's irrational, again, just to point to that of Germany. And I wonder how Germany's going to do if Britain leaves the European Union.
But take Denmark. The government spends a lot on job training and education, especially for the unemployed. And Danish companies participate in these programs because it means they have a stronger workforce. So when Danes get laid off, they get help learning a new skill that isn't putting together IKEA furniture for strangers. Mostly because they hate the Swedes.
What's the point talking about Denmark that has a real unemployment rate that's 3 times higher than official figures? A country that's suffering as a result of the higher tax rates, the same Denmark that pays more than 80% in tax, which is basically slavery, and last but not least, set its own tax administration building on fire. I suppose that's how much it loves its own taxation. It's just laughable.
In 2015, Denmark was ranked by Forbes as being the best country for business and is consistently ranked as the happiest country on earth, something Fox News blowhards like Bill O'Reilly desperately try to find a way to undermine.
When I heard the Danes were the happiest people on earth, I thought back to my ancestors in Ireland who were beheaded and raped by the Danish Vikings. And I don't know if that was a happy experience.
Yeah, Bill, way to dunk on the libs by bringing up an unrelated grudge you've been carrying with you since the year 800.
It's got a high suicide rate as well. It must be so happy that it can't take it any longer. And talking about all of these programs to help those that are unemployed, it's not going to help anything. It doesn't help anything when your tax rates are through the roof. It doesn't help anything when your country has a lack of opportunity. It doesn't help anything when it's got a severe lack of productivity. And that's why it's got an extremely high cost of living. All you've done is you've forced up the minimum wage in Denmark, and the minimum wage resulted in a higher unemployment rate. It didn't, create opportunity. It reduced opportunity. And if you're going to increase taxation, you decrease productivity and you decrease your, innovation through quantity and quality controls. You're limiting businesses to how much they can produce and what type they can produce through government regulations. However, to be fair to Denmark, this doesn't apply because they have somewhat of this weird type of economy, like the social market economy that it is. It has strong economic business freedom, to be fair to them. They've got low levels of government regulation. So yes, they do better off in that regard. However, where they're not doing better off with is the higher tax rates and the welfare state. That's the very reason why they're not doing so well. So it's not as simple as that. There are problems within Denmark because of its tax rates. If you were to lower the tax rates, you would see the unemployment rate drop.